This is being recorded 12 hours before the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. Who won? I swear to God. Alright, now on to the video. Boxing. It's about skill, speed, power, and aggression. But sometimes, the ring, it can turn into something completely unexpected. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at the craziest moments in boxing. And those fights that were just supposed to be your regular weekend night fight manages to turn into a moment that is still unforgettable to this day.
This is a monumental disaster.
Holy shit. This first one is legendary. Alright, so for this one, you gotta get a little bit of the backstory. One of the most underrated heavyweights of all time, Riddick Bowe, was set to face off against Evander Holyfield in a rematch for the WBA and IBF titles. Everybody was looking forward to the rematch. As their match a year prior not only was just one of the fights of the year, but it also included one of the best, if not the best round in boxing of all time. So with Riddick Bowe winning the first match, the night finally comes for the second bout, and these two titans clash again. And by all means, it is an excellent fight. And you're seeing two of the best in the planet box, and you're just wondering, can it get any better? Yeah, in a way. Time has gone past and we're at round 7. And during the second minute, something really weird happens. You start hearing screams and yells from the crowd. They get louder and louder, and there's a whole frenzy.
And a parachute has just landed on the edge of the ring, has been pulled away by security guards. The fight has been brought to a halt. There's a match.
I introduce you to James Miller, otherwise known as the Fan Man. This absolute madman flew a powered paraglider into the middle of the ring in the match that was considered one of the most hyped up matches ever up to that point. And I say in the middle of the ring, but like he barely made it to the ropes and he kind of just ate shit. And because of this guardian angel in a paraglider, this red hot fight was delayed an additional 20 minutes. And as you could imagine, the crowd had none of it. After being knocked unconscious and waking up to a charge of $200, he was let free to go. Now, if you're wondering, Holyfield ended up winning that fight, and it still is considered one of the best boxing matches ever, but the Fan Man truly put it in absolute infamy. But it didn't just end there for our guardian angel. He tried recreating the same thing over and over again, but nothing to the same success of the boxing fight. This is where the story actually takes a really dark turn. Years later in 2001, Miller was diagnosed with coronary artery disease and underwent a double bypass surgery, which meant he had to stop paragliding, flying, and hiking, which were his favorite things. And one day in 2002, while Miller's girlfriend was pregnant with their first child, he completely vanished outside of a forest. The only trail being left was his parked car. And to everyone's surprise, in March of 2003, they found James. And unfortunately, James was found from a tree, and his death was clearly ruled as a suicide. Now, it's a really sad end to the legend of Fan Man. But back to what he actually did, if you think that a man paragliding into one of the most anticipated fights of all time is crazy, you've seen nothing yet.
What happened here? He got bit, I think.
It's yet again another highly anticipated fight between Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. Again, wow, he just can't help himself, this fella. And it's also another rematch. Holyfield had won their first match 6 months prior to this, and many contributed to Holyfield's smart usage of clinching and his shiny bald head. Clinches are used to slow down the fight and control the pace, and most of all, it can piss people off. Well, for Holyfield, he used that and, strategic headbutting. So Holyfield during this first match used the clinch a bunch and paired that with very dirty tactics of headbutting. It threw Mike off his focus, and that's what most people think got Holyfield the win. And let's just say that Mike was not having that in this rematch at all costs, an arm or a leg or an ear. So the rematch is underway. Holyfield is implementing his constant defensive clinching technique and his strategic headbutting. And the look on Mike's face, I mean, he's jumping for absolute glee and joy. So the third round comes. Mike, to put it into words, is absolutely fucking fuming. And understandably so. So Mike does the complete rational thing. And while Holyfield has him in a clinch, Mike bites a chunk out of Holyfield's ear and spits it out. And something that's not talked about enough is how immediately after Mike does this, he's sent to a corner and he has the world's greatest defensive.
What kind of guy? He's a judge. He'll take no nonsense.
Also, something that people don't even realize is that the fight didn't end there. The fight kept going after a short stoppage, and it wasn't until Mike tried the exact same thing on the other ear, and then Mike was DQ'd and the fight was over. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not defending Mike by any means, but look at these headbutts, man. They literally show one in crystal clear HD vision. Look, again, I'm not saying it's justified, but it's justified. Alright, now our next one is my favorite out of all these because of just everything. Riddick Bowe is back again, and the year is now 1996, where he still is known as an elite level boxer, but he's definitely more in the twilight of his career at this point. Opponent Andrew Golota, on the other hand, was actually pretty close to earning that elite boxer status, as he had a unique, rough and aggressive approach in the ring, but one win over Riddick Bowe would cement him as an elite level boxer. Golota was coming in as the underdog, ready to cement his place. Bowe is trying to keep his place. So the stage is set at Madison Square Garden, and it seems to be looking like this could be an easy win for the underdog Golota, as in the early rounds he's coming in aggressively with loaded punches. And then, I don't even know how to segue into this. He just starts hitting him in the dick. He just keeps hitting low blows. Not 1, 2, not 4, not 5, 7. And they're only in the 7th round. Andrew Golota is DQ'd. That's not even the crazy part. The crazy part is that not even 5 seconds after the DQ was called, everybody and their fucking auntie is in the ring trying to rip each other's heads off. A mass riot happens in the ring unlike the world has ever seen. And not only is it in the ring, it spreads into the fucking crowd. I'm not exaggerating when I say that easily half of this arena is brawling with each other. Even Andrew Golota's trainer is being crowd surfed in a fucking stretcher. It's so cool. The fight settles down and all the controversy is over, but the feud isn't over yet. And a rematch is set for December 14th, 1996. With both fighters having their reputation damaged for the worst after coming out of that fight. You know, for Bowe, his reputation was a little tarnished because it's pretty obvious that he couldn't keep up with Golota. And Golota's reputation was tarnished because stopped punching him in nutsack. So the rematch is underway, and this rematch, it was completely different to the first one. It was clean, it was precise, it was hard hitting. Yeah, nah. The rematch played out the exact same way. Holy shit, I promise you I'm not joking. Golota gets DQ'd in the 9th round for too many low blows. Again, Golota's fist and Bowe's could just get into each other's yang. It's quite beautiful, really. Now, unfortunately, there was no mass arena brawl for this one, but somehow, someway, Andrew Golota would immediately become #1 contender for Lennox Lewis's heavyweight title. And in this match, you wouldn't believe it, he got knocked out in round 1. Golota's career from this point onwards would just kind of go on a slow downturn, although he did have a highlight fighting Tyson, but eventually he would go on to retire in 2013. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like the content, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comments if you think that you would survive against the dick destroyer, Andrew Golota. Okay, now wait, before this video ends, all I want to do is just say this one sentence, but the video just keeps cutting.